Hello and welcome to an absolutely stonker of a beautiful morning here in equally beautiful Nova Scotia. It is the end of June, the day before Canada Day, and it's strawberry season. So another reason to celebrate, as well as it being Canada Day tomorrow. Lots and lots of really nice strawberries in this strawberry bed now, covered by this strawberry cage. So now those pesky raccoons can't eat all my strawberries. But I thought, it being Canada Day tomorrow, that I would make a famous Cornish dish from where I'm in the UK. A nice Cornish cream tea, which is scones and clotted cream, which I'll come on to later, and strawberry jam. So I thought I would take some nice fresh strawberries and make some strawberry jam, some clotted cream and some scones, and we can all celebrate Canada Day with some delicious scones with clotted cream and strawberry jam. So let's have a look in here to see what we got in the way of strawberries anyway. Hopefully I've got some. And I do believe I've actually got some beautiful strawberries coming. As you can see, lovely big fat strawberries. Oh, now you can't say fairer than that beauty, can you? Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue looking for these absolute beautiful jewels of the fruit world, and then I'll meet up with you in the kitchen in a minute. So one of the key ingredients in the old Cornish cream tea is clotted cream. Now over here in Canada, and I think in North America sort of in general, it's a bit difficult to get clotted cream. It's not something that they have, but don't worry, we can make it. Now the only ingredient you need to make clotted cream is a good heavy, preferably unpasteurised or not very pasteurised cream. Now here where I am in Nova Scotia, the sort of heaviest cream that we actually seem to have is whipping cream. So that's what I'm using. So really you want a big load of whipping cream, and what we're going to do is we're going to gently heat the whipping cream for about 12 hours. Then we're going to cool it down, and what happens there is the sort of cream rises to the surface, whereas the water liquid will stay at the bottom, and then once we take it out after we've heated it, put it in the fridge for another 8 hours or so, or let it cool right down, and then that cream hardens off, and you scrape that cream off, and that is the clotted cream. Now I know it sounds a bit ooh, but honestly it's absolutely delicious, and if you've ever had a Cornish cream tea, then you know it is delicious. So all we're going to do is I've preheated the oven to 170 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'm just going to pour this in. You want any sort of casserole dish, you know, wide dish. You want as much surface area as possible, and we're going to put about 1 to 2 inches of the cream in here. So we don't want it too high. We want more surface area so we can get more cream. This is the biggest dish I've got, unfortunately. But there we go. So all I'm going to do now is I'm going to put that 170 in the oven 12 hours. Sounds a long time, so normally it's a good time to maybe do it sort of late in the evening and do it overnight. But my oven, I think, trips off after a certain amount of time, so there it's good to make sure that it's staying on. Anyway, in we go. So while that's in there, I'm going to make the strawberry jam. So that is the cream on the go, the long march of the cream to be made into clotted cream. So here are the strawberries So I've got basically just under £2 I harvested earlier, and these ones, so what I've done is I've given them a bit of a wash, pat them down, because you don't want too much water on and absorbed by the strawberries, otherwise it will just make it more difficult for the jam to sort of thicken up and stick together when it gets going. So I've taken these strawberries and I've taken a pound of strawberries. You can up it or down it to whatever you like. Basically, a pound of strawberries, 1 cup or just under 250 millilitres of granulated sugar, and it will be a tablespoon of lemon juice. There's various different recipes. This is the most simplest I've found, just to make a really nice jam. And like I said, I've got this pound of strawberries and I've hulled them, as you can see, which is basically just cutting off the leaf and the stem, and then just cutting out the hull there. Looks like a bit of a ropey one, this one. Made a bit of a meal of that one. Let's do it again, shall we? So, this is a decent one, and then all I'm going to do is just hull out that middle bit, et voila. So then, what I'm going to do is take these strawberries, the bigger ones, let's cut them in half. So let me just do that. So I'm going to, I've given these all a bit of a halving, or mostly. Stick them in the pan. Oh, missed that one. And then I'm going to give them a bit of a squash. Squash them all out. You don't have to do this first, but it just makes it quicker for the jam to actually break down, or the strawberries to actually break down. So these are one of the good things, you know, growing your own strawberries, absolutely fantastic. Strawberries are one of the easiest things you can actually, you know, grow. Very nice. Easiest things you can grow, and actually the ones you buy in the shops are on the sort of roughly in the top 5 dirtiest fruit and veg you can buy. And by that list is you know, all the sort of chemicals they use on a lot of the non-organic veg, and the mileage that goes into transporting a lot of these strawberries. All of that sort of stuff puts them in the top 5 dirtiest veg. It might even be the top 3. So, doing your own strawberries, you know, in the garden, don't have to put any real, well, I'm organic anyway, so that, you know, it's literally just pick them, plant them, let them grow a couple of years, then pick. Easy as that. And then multiply really easy as well, so that's really good. So growing your own strawberries and then making your own jam up, what is better than that? You can't get much better than that, can you? Well, you can actually, but there you go. There we go, I've given them a bit of a good squashing. So then I'm just going to pour in the sugar. That's 1 cup of sugar. I mean, that's quite a bit, but that's the way it is. Need a bit of sweetness, extra sweetness. So, tablespoon of, I might get it all out of this half. Go on, son. I might put a little bit more in for luck. There you go. Now I'm going to put this on a low heat until the sugar has dissolved, and then I'm going to turn the heat up high for about 15-20 minutes, really sort of a good rolling boil, and then off the heat. You know, keep it stirring all the time as well, so low heat, stirring, dissolve the sugar, up to a rolling boil, 15-20 minutes, and then we'll see what it's like. So let's put this on now. So like I said, I'm putting this on a medium-low heat. I'm going to give it a quick stir now, just to help the dissolving routine. And I want to keep stirring that as it's coming up to the boil. So I'll bring you back in a minute when we've got some more action on the jam. Right, so this is just starting to come to the boil now. I've stirred this a few times. There's a bit of what we call a sort of a scum, whatever, on the top. We'll leave that to the end, and then we can sort of scrape a bit of it off. That's nice, all the sugar is nice and dissolved now. So I think I can turn this up a bit. We get that up to a nice rolling boil, as you can see. 15 to 20 minutes now. 15 to 20 minutes, and that should thicken up nicely. And 15 to 20 minutes, or when you sort of move your spoon around, it will leave a nice sort of thick trail behind it like it. So leave it like this now and stir it occasionally. 15 to 20 minutes. I think I've said that, haven't I? 15 to 20 minutes. Okay, so this has been in here a good 15 to 20 minutes now. Nice and thick. Might have had it a bit too high actually, but there you go. And you can see there's a bit of a sort of scum on the top there, which I'm going to lift off. But what I'm going to do now is take that off the heat, and we'll put these in some jars. So let me just get rid of this stuff here. And off the heat. Right, okay, so here we are. Jam is done. And say, in the realistic TV programme that this is, or YouTube programme, that's not my best one. I might have actually burnt it a touch, but fortuitously, here's one I made earlier. But we'll go through the process anyway. So, okay. Normally, if we're, creating anything that we're going to store over a period of time, we use the old jars, and we'll boil the jars, make sure all the badness is gone. The word has escaped me at the moment. Anyway, but I've just got a jam jar, because this jam is literally going to go in a couple of days. And this jam would be good for a good couple of months really in the fridge, but it will be gone before you know it. So I'm going to just pour it in here. That is pretty good. Measuring that. Yeah, so there is, I think up on the screen there, a video of my sort of canning. I don't know what it was I was canning, probably tomatoes or something, tomato sauce. So there's a video on the whole canning routine with boiling your jars and what you need, etc. up there, or just check any of the million Googling resources that you can on canning. But, there we go. That jam is looking and still smelling pretty good. So leave a couple of, a few centimetres from the top. So I'm going to leave that to cool there without the lid on, and then once it's cooled right down, I can put it in the fridge. So now on to the scones. Okay, there we go. That is 12 hours in the oven at 170 Fahrenheit. as you can see, there's like a film over the top of that now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to let that completely cool down here, and then once it's cooled down on top, I'm going to put it in the fridge, and it'll be overnight now, so that'll be a nice firm up, and then we'll have a look what it looks like in the morning, and we'll collect the clotted cream and then onto the scones. So I'm going to let that cool down and then into the fridge. So here we go. We are the next morning, so good morning. And this is the cream now. It's got a sort of hard surface. So what I'm going to do is going to scrape this top layer off. In fact, what I might actually do is pour away. No, I'm not. I'm going to scrape this top layer off. And voila. See, and that's the stuff we want. A nice, thick, beautiful tasting clotted cream. And it's basically detached itself from the sort of thinner liquid below. Let's pour this out. There we go, it's a good amount there. Happy with that. I think what I'll do is I'll pour the rest of this off. I want to gather all of the precious cream as possible. Excuse me. Well, so I better have a quick quality taste of this, haven't I? Oh yeah, just what we want. So there we go. That is the making of the clotted cream. And now, the last bit, we are finally going to get to the scones. So we've done the jam, done the clotted cream, and scones next. Bringing it all together. Okay, I have a bit of a confession to make, guys. I've gone into autopilot and basically made my scone mix already. So apologies for that. I don't think you're really tuning in to learn how to make scones, are you? I think the point of my videos is not sort of the actual ins and outs of making things like this, it's the spirit of it. So the ingredients: 500 grams of flour, a couple of teaspoons of baking flour powder, a couple of teaspoons of caster sugar, and 150 grams of butter. Mix that all up into cornflake sort of type bits and bobs, and then I added 2 eggs, 4 tablespoons of milk. Give it a good mix up. And that's what I've got here so far. 15 minutes in the fridge. All the ingredients will be in the bio anyway. So I've got this scruffy mass. I've got the oven on 400 degrees. I'm just going to mix this up a bit, or get it rolled. Some flour. Oh. Canada Day, got my Canada hat on, getting in the spirit of things. Let's get some flour on here with my rolling pin. Here we are. Right, let's get this. This is quite a dry mix, this. So I'm going to try and roll this out. Maybe too dry. But this is actually a Jamie Oliver recipe. So hopefully it should work. I've made it before. Although I'm not sure I made it as dry as this. We'll see. Either way, what I'm going to do, got a bit of a, going to cut a few of these out and then just keep. So that's the sort of size that I want now. And put them on the old baking dish. Oh, actually, when I put them on the baking dish pan, you've got to turn them upside down. Allegedly makes them rise a bit better. Roll this out a bit more. So let me carry on doing these, as I said, using the old, I don't know, what's that, 6 centimetres, something like that, or some, you know, rim of glass. So you've got nice discs about a couple of centimetres high and about 6 centimetres across, or glass size across. So let me carry on with this and I'll be right back. Right, so there we go. Managed to get 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 out of that lot. A couple of thin ones at the end, but never mind. Right, I'm just going to give them a bit of a brush with a bit of milk over the top. Just give them a nice golden colour. So I'm going to pop these in the oven for about 25 minutes, and that was at 400. And fingers crossed that they rise. So there we go. Right. Et voila. There we go. Quick tidy up, and then ready for the scones, the clotted cream, and the homemade strawberry jam. What could be better? Okay, here they are, done. Not risen quite as much as I would like, but I'm sure they'll be alright. Okay, so I am going to give these, let them cool down a bit before checking them out. So let's let these cool down and then it'll be the taste test. So here we go, full on taste test. Let's have one of the scones. So I'm just going to cut that in half. So we've got the clotted cream and the jam. I'm going to use one of the jams I made from the other day. So living in Cornwall, I'm originally from London, but I lived in Cornwall for a good 25 years. So we always put jam on first. So jam first. Bit of jam. Let's get some of this clotted cream. There we go. Look at that beauty. Oh yes. Right, taste this. Excuse me if I get it all around my mouth. Oh. Well, all I've got to say is very nice. And the second thing I've got to say is job's a good one.